We can talk about a lot of things. The most important thing is that we got 3 points. You know, sometimes you got to find your way back into rhythm and confidence through just hard work. And today it was hard work. I don't think it was beauty, but you know, the first goal was a great effort. You know, put in Valdez and others scraping out the ball, and then Oba jumps on the ball and scores. And the second goal is, you know, we felt we could get behind him, and Oba makes a hard run and sacrifices himself and draws the penalty kick. You know, outside of that, you know, I think, you know, for sure their play was probably better than ours at times. I'm not going to say it the other way around, but you know, sometimes when you go through, like I said, go through what we've been through and injuries and all that, you know, you're looking for the 3 points. You're looking for your team to work hard and battle. And everybody thinks, oh, okay, this player now, you tap him on the shoulder and he's healthy now, so everything's back to normal. Well, he's healthy, but he's not fit. You know, he's not 90 minutes fit, so you got to judge that. You got to play that. How Nelson got through 90 minutes today was absolutely amazing. If you looked at his shin, I mean, he got the crap kicked out of him. I don't know how many times he got fouled in the game. You know, so you look at that. It's the first time that Papa has played, you know, with that group. You know, so they're trying to, you know, there's obviously misunderstandings. First time Freeburg's played with Papa. You know, so you know, there's a lot of things that we're trying to work through as well. So what's important for us right now is, as we work through all these things, is for us to continue to fight and battle as a team and get 3 points whenever they're there.
Questions, Matt Pence.
How important was Stefan in that first half in keeping you guys level to make the couple goals there?
Well, Stefan, you know, I mean, as I said, you know, last year and this year, you know, I thought he improved consistently throughout last year, and by the end of the year, I thought was one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and I still think Stefan's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. You know, I think he's shown that now. You know, I don't think he gets mentioned in the same breath with some of the guys, and I think that's a shame. I know he had a save of the week again last week, but you know, and the save he made on Milano in the first half was obviously very critical on a ball that you know, that Tyrone, you know, I don't know, misread, you know, didn't react quickly enough, and all of a sudden Milano's in on that breakaway, and Steph makes a great decision and snuffs it. So I think he's one of the top keepers in the league.
Don.
Your view and understanding of the PK call?
I mean, the goalkeeper knocked him over. Are you talking, why isn't it a yellow or a red? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, there was a little bit of controversy that we asked the referee for the call. It seemed maybe that the keeper got to his spot and Oba initiated the contact, or whether, you know, just that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a replay of it. You know, I asked the fourth official why it wasn't a yellow or a red, and I was told that his communication device was not working with the referee. So that was the end of that conversation.
So your thought was that it was denial of a goal scoring opportunity, so that should have been a red?
Yeah, from what I saw, but I haven't seen the replay. I've seen red cards given for that same play. You know, I think that's one of the areas where there's still a lot of inconsistency with the referees. Some guys will call the penalty and give a yellow. Some guys will call the penalty and give a red. You know, and some guys won't give anything. So it's very inconsistent.
Larry.
How much are you looking forward to the time when you get the full team back? I mean, or do you just have to kind of rally around what you have now?
Well, we're looking forward to the fact that, you know, now we play as many games in the next 2 months as we've played in the last month. So we actually get some time so guys can start to know each other at training, and we can work on some things. You know, it helped that we sort of kept this group behind a little bit so they could work. You know, because basically our back four, with the exception of Tyrone, was behind, so those guys could work together. You know, I think that helped us in this game a little bit, because they had to cover up some things for us not holding on to the ball well enough at times. But being able to train, you know, continue to get guys fitter, guys become more and more game fit, you know, and you try and go on. But, you know, things happen in a game like, as an example, substitutions change. You know, you wanted to make a certain move, but then Eric Freeburg had taken that shot right at the end of the first half in his back, and his backs just started tightening up on him, and you know, that started affecting his play. So Nelson needed to come out because he was struggling, and so we had to make a decision there as to who could go. We knew Papa couldn't go 90. We knew Nagel couldn't go 90 because of just their fitness levels, and because Nagel played 90 minutes on Wednesday. So, you know, it'd be nice not having to worry about those things going into games.
When teams are pulling out of sort of slumps, people like to look for like a turning point type of result. Obviously, you guys beat Orlando handily, and then Salt Lake and lost. Do you believe in that sort of thing? And if so, could this be that result that you guys have been looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard-fought win. I think sometimes, you know, the results that become turning points for you are ones where the team realizes that, you know, wow, that was just a team effort. You know, everybody rolled up their sleeves and we all battled for each other and fought for each other. And, you know, I think that's the feeling that's in the locker room right now. You know, they're tired. They know they can play better. But they also know that they got a result through grit and determination today, and they had set the goal for themselves today to get the 3 points. It didn't matter how. So those results can a lot of times turn things for you and help you gain your confidence again.
Jackson.
What did you see and what do you think of Ozzy Alonso's return in the last 25 minutes? And was that the plan to bring him on in about the 66th?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you know, we wanted to hold him, you know, definitely less than 30. We thought maybe 20, you know, 15, 20 was the ideal. But at that point, we just felt we needed to go a little bit earlier, so we brought him in. I thought, you know, I told Ozzy it's a fast game. They're not giving us a lot of time to settle the ball, so, you know, make quick decisions. It's hard when you're sitting on the bench to come into a game like that, and especially where you're playing more of a defensive position, to catch the rhythm of the game. But I thought Ozzy did a good job of catching the rhythm of the game, you know, made a couple of good defensive plays for us as well, and also helped us settle the ball down.
Andrew.
Coach, your team struggled defending balls out of the air, particularly on set pieces today. What do you think contributed to that, and what do they have to do to improve?
Well, we can't lose runners, but the key for set pieces is service. You know, and Valeri serves a good ball. So he's serving balls in, but you know, we had a problem losing runners. You know, I mean, unfortunately or whatever, the guy who ended up scoring their goal was the guy I predicted. If anybody scores off a set piece for them, it'll be him, because the marking assignment, you know, we continually lost that guy. And so, you know, we've got to, you know, obviously point to it and say, hey, we either have to change some assignments. You know, I've never been a zonal marking guy. But, you know, I mean, obviously they won some headers, but the ones they win where they're backing up at the back post and heading them way over the top, those I'm not that concerned about. You know, you can't take everything away, and if a guy serves the ball well, it's difficult.
Jackie and then Jeremiah.
Coach, what did you think of Marco Papa's first start in a month and a half?
I thought it was okay. You know, again, it takes time to get back into the rhythm of playing. You know, he had played 20, 25 minutes in Honduras. You know, and that's in his body as well. And so we gave him a difficult assignment. But I thought his technical abilities could help us hold the ball a little bit, and I thought at times he helped us with that in the first half. But just his passing, his accuracy was not as sharp, I think, as it normally is for him, and that's just going to take a few games, a few more practices.
When Papa did come back, did you envision that you'd be playing him this much, or was that something that, I mean, what do you think led into that decision?
Well, I mean, again, you know, hands are tighter a little bit, you know, for us right now. Andreas Ivancic is still injured. You know, he's an option there in that position. You know, Clint's still out. You know, if he's available, maybe it's a little bit different formation, and we can move people around. If Ozzy's available, then maybe it moves. You know, allows us to play like we did at the end with Evans on the outside. You know, but based on our personnel that we had, we felt those were our best options.
What have you seen from him in training since he came back?
You know, I mean, he's working. You know, he's working hard. I mean, the other thing, you know, the other stuff. I mean, you go through something that he's gone through. You know, the most important thing is you yourself make decisions and you move on. So I think he's moving on, and I think he's worked hard at training. So I've been happy with him that way.
Will.
What was your take on the understanding and
connection between Eric and Brad there in the middle?
You know, it's always difficult when they're playing 2 against 3, you know, and they play 3 in the middle of midfield, you know, to our 2. So, you know, to get that timing right, you know, I thought we got a little more help from the forwards there on the one that dropped deep for them, Jewsbury. Sometimes because they're new guys, Jewsbury and Fochive, rather than the guys you're used to playing against, you're not quite sure what their habits are, you know, and what their tendencies are. So at times I thought we were a little disjointed in there, and at times I thought it was good. But you know, overall, would I say that was their top? You know, it wasn't it wasn't a top game for us in terms of passing. But like I said, the most important thing is to get the points tonight.
Art, and then the last couple.
Sigi, you've had all these new players come in, you've had to compensate for suspensions and injuries. What's been the most difficult thing for you to manage this?
It's all of the above. You know, it's like one of those psych tests where the answer is A, B, C, A and B, C and D, D and E, or all of the above. You know, I think it's all of the above. It's you know, the difficulty is you're trying to integrate new players. We had an intense series of games, so you don't have training time, you know, to put them in. You're trying to get them fit, but you also got to throw them into games, you know, sometimes maybe before they're entirely ready. You know, you look at Montreal right now, Drogo's played, what, 10 minutes or something for them. So, you know, so what we're going through is not much different than maybe what some other teams are going through. There's always an exception, like the guy in San Jose, Godoy, just comes in, hits the ground running, and makes it. Torres has played, you know, obviously every time he stepped on the field for us 90 minutes. So it's dealing with, you know, that you never have the same group together at training, and because of the amount of games that you have, you're training in smaller numbers. So your training numbers end up being 5v5 and 6v6, and really we've got to do more things that are 8v8, 9v9, so they're bigger, and so the spatial relationships become stronger for the guys, and their understanding of each other becomes better. So you know, that's been probably the most difficult thing.
Last couple. Tim.
Sigi, how close was Clint today to playing, and do you expect that you'll be able to have him for Toronto?
You know, he was close, but it's just one of those things. You know, he's a forward, and you know, when an opportunity presents itself, you know, you've got to give everything you have, and that's when you're coming off a hamstring. That's a situation. Are you able to make that final sprint, or is that going to be a recurrence of your injury, and now you're back to ground zero again? So, you know, the decision was that, you know, let's get him to where he feels entirely comfortable making that last-ditch effort, and you know, hopefully that'll happen next week. But you know, I'm not going to predict anything.
Uragan called him in for the Brazil friendly. Did you have conversations with Uragan about Clint's health?
Yeah, and we had conversations, and we will continue to have conversations. We said we'd talk during this week, and we'll see where he's at. I mean, it's probably you know, difficult for me to imagine him putting in a shift for us against Toronto, or a longer shift, and being able to turn around coming off this injury 3 days later and play again. You know, but that's something obviously Uragan has to do, and you know, we'll talk about it and we'll discuss it.
Sigi, what does Fisher provide in a game like this?
I thought Fisher was good. You know, I mean, he's a young player, he's a rookie. I thought in the first half he did a really good job on Nagbe. You know, and I thought he curtailed him fairly well. In the second half, they moved Nagbe into the middle of the field, moved him all over the place. You know, maybe that was to, you know, get them going, but it was maybe also to get him away from Fisher. So you know, I think for a young player, he did well, and he's, you know, he's learning and he's growing. And what you look for in young players is that they don't repeat the same mistakes. And some things we talked to him about, he's definitely erased from his game. So I was very pleased with him.